What if paradise turned hostile? What if the Maldives, known for its crystal-clear waters and stunning resorts, suddenly became a hotbed of political tension? Picture this. An island nation famed for its tranquility is now making headlines, not for its breathtaking beaches, but for a brewing political storm. The Maldives, a country that has long enjoyed cordial relations with India, now finds itself in a state of social and political unrest, with the India Out campaign gaining momentum. This campaign, which started as street protests back in 2020, has now transformed into a digital movement, with the hashtag #IndiaOut trending across various social media platforms. The campaign's objective? To oppose India's military presence in the Maldives, a presence the campaign believes is unwarranted and intrusive. In response, the Maldivian government has taken a drastic step, banning the campaign outright. But why this sudden shift? What has triggered this wave of anti-Indian sentiment in a country that has historically been an ally of India? As we delve deeper into this issue, we must first understand the sequence of events leading up to the current situation. Stay tuned as we unravel this intriguing geopolitical tale. The timeline of events is a map to understanding the present. So let's trace back to the origins of the India Out campaign. It all began in 2020, when the streets of Maldives filled with protesters, their chants resonating with a sentiment that was growing stronger by the day. They opposed India's military presence in their island nation, a presence that was seen as a growing threat to their sovereignty. As the campaign gained momentum, it found a new battleground: social media. The hashtag #IndiaOut started trending, a digital echo of the fervor on the streets. The public sentiment against India's military presence was clear, and it was growing. But it wasn't against India as a whole. The protesters were clear in their stance. They opposed the military presence, not the trade or cultural ties with India. Then came a turning point. The government of Maldives, perhaps feeling the pressure of the public sentiment, took a decisive step. They banned the India Out campaign. This ban, while it might have quelled the public protests, did little to dampen the sentiment that had sparked them in the first place. Fast forward to the present day and we find ourselves in a situation where the tension between India and Maldives is palpable. The ban on the campaign is still in effect, but the sentiment that gave birth to it is very much alive. Now that we have a better grasp of the timeline, we can begin to explore the underlying factors that have contributed to this political tension. A sudden shift in political sentiment is rarely without reason. Are there underlying causes for the Maldives' hostility towards India? Let's dig deeper. Economic factors, for instance, have always been instrumental in shaping international relations. We know that the Maldives heavily relies on tourism, a sector that was hit hard by the global pandemic. India, once a significant source of tourists, was severely affected by the virus, likely impacting the number of Indian visitors to the Maldives. Moreover, the Maldives has been eyeing other lucrative markets. Just look at the example of Thailand. When direct flights from Russia to Phuket resumed, Russian tourists flooded in, providing a much-needed boost to the local economy. Could the Maldives be looking for a similar opportunity? But it's not just about economics. There's also the issue of India's military presence in the Maldives, a contentious point that has fueled the India Out campaign. This presence is seen by some as an infringement on the Maldives' sovereignty, stirring up strong sentiments among the populace. And then there's the China factor. It's no secret that China has been expanding its influence in the region. Could the Maldives be leaning more towards China, seeking to balance out India's influence? It's a possibility that can't be dismissed. Finally, we can't ignore the role of social media in this saga. It has provided a platform for the India Out campaign, amplifying voices of dissent and potentially influencing public opinion. The reasons are complex and intertwined, but one cannot ignore the role of external influences in shaping the Maldives' stance. The political tension between Maldives and India isn't an isolated event. It's part of a bigger geopolitical landscape. This tension reverberates beyond the borders of these two nations, influencing regional politics and shaping India's foreign relations. The balance of power in South Asia could be swaying, as nations are forced to choose sides or navigate the stormy waters of diplomacy. The Maldives, a small but strategically located nation, is a coveted ally for many major players on the world stage. Its shift in stance towards India could potentially tip the scales of influence. For India, maintaining cordial relations with its neighbors is paramount for its regional stability and international standing. China's role in this equation cannot be overlooked. As a rising global superpower with vested interests in South Asia, China's relationship with both India and the Maldives could be a significant factor in the unfolding drama. As we keep an eye on the unfolding events, we should remember that in politics, nothing happens in a vacuum. Every action has a reaction, and every decision can ripple across borders. The tension between the Maldives and India is not just a bilateral issue, it's a piece of a complex, ever-changing geopolitical puzzle.